So we're looking at the full moon, August 1st, 2023. What's on video is quite a bit different than what I'm seeing actually. I'm exposing to show the clouds. The moon's quite washed out. If I lower or decrease the ISO, that'll get us closer to what the moon looks like. But we unfortunately can't have both. That is something that accurately reflects what I'm actually seeing. So that's pretty close to what I'm seeing in terms of the moon. Maybe go a third of a stop less. But now we don't see the clouds. Let's just raise the camera up a little. See an aircraft coming by, but I think it's going to go too far above the moon to be of any interest. So yeah, the moon looks very much like what we're seeing here, but the clouds around it are no longer visible. So let's boost the ISO up to 6400. Now we see the clouds, but the moon's all washed out. So that's the way it goes, unfortunately. Yeah, the aircraft passed a little above. I don't want to mess around too much. So yeah, maybe one day it'll be possible to get a photo like this or a video like this with the clouds correctly exposed and the moon correctly exposed like this. There's how many stops difference here? We're at 800 ISO. We were at 6400 ISO. About 3 stops difference. 3 stops difference between the two exposures. So if we had a bit more dynamic range, if we had 3 stops more dynamic range, then we might be able to see what I'm seeing with the unaided eye. That's 2 stops different. See a bit of the clouds. That's 3 stops. So we see the clouds quite well as I'm seeing them, but the moon's washed out. So that's the limits of my camera in terms of dynamic range. And I don't know of too many cameras that have much more dynamic range. There might be a camera that has 1 stop or so more dynamic range, but I'm not aware of any camera that can expose properly what I'm seeing here without using HDR techniques. So that's it. This is the August 1st SuperMoon of 2023. And there'll be another one at the end of the month on August 30th or so. So both moons are pretty much supermoons. And we will try to record them. Excuse me, I'm just debating what to do here because we have a cloud in front. It's really a shame that I cannot show what I'm actually seeing here because it's really quite nice. A yellow, orange moon with these clouds. Let's bring that down a bit. Yeah. Now see, now the clouds are too dark, but the moon's still washed out. Moon's still washed out, can't see the clouds. Now we're seeing the moon close to what I'm seeing. That's 3 stops different. But in reality, maybe more like 4 stops away from what we really want here. So, yeah, unfortunate. So 30 to the second F11, ISO 500 here. We're using a 400mm lens, and the moon's not massive. To get a bigger moon that takes up a good chunk of the frame, you want at least 800mm, maybe 1200 or more. isn't really that powerful. I could double it up. I could put a doubler on to bring it up to 800, but then I'll be losing a fair bit of light. So let's talk to the clouds. Look at the clouds here. Yeah. So this might be slightly brighter than what I'm actually seeing, but it's pretty close. So it looks like there's almost 4 stops of difference between the exposure for the clouds and the exposure for the moon. So a bit of work on the dynamic range is required. Yeah, let's pan down. Have a look at that. So that's the view from the Jacques country. Oh no, Boulevard Saint-Jacques bridge overpass over the 15, the eastern end of it. Let's see that. Oh. So that's it for this clip, I think. It's pretty much it for tonight's shoot. Probably go home and see what I can do about editing the photos I took earlier. Excuse me.